You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Subscribe now. We have new stories every day. Now, let's go. Jacob and Emma were the picture of a happy couple when they first got married. Their wedding was a small but beautiful ceremony in their hometown, and their future seemed full of promise. They were young in love and ready to take on the world together. Jacob, a successful software engineer, had just landed a high-paying job, which allowed them to buy a nice house in a suburban neighborhood. Emma, on the other hand, had been working in a local cafe for years. She enjoyed the work, even though Jacob thought it was unnecessary now that he was earning enough to support both of them. At first, it was just a minor disagreement. Jacob would come home after a long day at work and casually ask her if she'd thought about quitting her job yet. "I don't understand why you want to keep working there, babe," Jacob would say, taking off his tie and sitting down at the kitchen table. "I'm doing well at work, and we don't need the extra income. I think it's time you quit and focus on us on starting a family." Emma would always smile and shake her head, continuing to chop vegetables or stir a pot on the stove. "Jacob, I love my job. It's not about the money. The cafe has been a big part of my life for years. I've made friends there, and it's something I enjoy. Plus, I'm not ready to settle down and start having kids just yet." Jacob didn't understand. He thought it was only a matter of time before Emma realized she didn't need to work anymore. But as months passed, nothing changed. Emma still went to the cafe every day, and Jacob grew more and more frustrated. He was ready to start a family, ready to move forward, but Emma seemed content with things as they were. Every time Jacob brought up the idea of quitting her job or having kids, Emma would brush him off with the same answers. "Not yet, or we'll get there, but there's no rush." 2 years into their marriage, Jacob began to suspect that something wasn't right. Emma's enthusiasm for her job seemed to grow, even though he couldn't see why. She started spending more time at work, staying late and hanging out with her coworkers afterward. She came home tired but energized, like the cafe was giving her something he couldn't. It gnawed at him. She wasn't as eager to spend time with him anymore. Their conversations became short, and the distance between them grew. One night, after another disagreement about her job, Jacob decided he couldn't sit around wondering anymore. His cousin Tom had recently moved into town and was looking for a part-time job. Jacob saw an opportunity. He told Tom about his suspicions and convinced him to apply for a job at the cafe. Emma didn't know Tom, so it would be easy for him to keep an eye on things without rousing suspicion. "Are you sure this is a good idea, Jake?" Tom asked, a little hesitant. "I mean, spying on your wife at her workplace. It seems a bit extreme, don't you think?" Jacob frowned, rubbing his forehead. "I know it sounds crazy, but something's not right, Tom. She's different. She's hiding something, I can feel it. I just need you to go in there and let me know if anything weird is going on." Tom agreed, and within a week, he was hired as a part-time waiter at the cafe. At first, everything seemed normal. Emma acted like her usual cheerful self, chatting with regulars and laughing with her coworkers. But after a few weeks, Tom began to notice some strange behavior. Emma was spending a lot of time with Michael, the cafe's bartender. They seemed closer than just coworkers. They would often disappear into the back room together, and one afternoon, Tom overheard them making plans to run an errand together during their shift. Jacob's heart sank when Tom called him that day. "Jake, you're not gonna like this, man," Tom said over the phone. "I saw Emma and Michael leave together in his car. They said they'd be gone for a quick errand, but they've been gone for over an hour." Jacob was livid. It was bad enough that she was spending so much time with this guy at work, but now they were sneaking off together. He felt a rush of anger, betrayal, and embarrassment. He needed to confront them, to see it for himself. Later that evening, Jacob drove to the cafe, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. When he arrived, he spotted Michael behind the bar, pouring drinks and laughing with some customers. Emma was on the other side of the cafe, wiping down tables and chatting with a regular. They looked innocent enough, but Jacob's suspicions had already taken root. He marched up to the bar, his heart pounding. Michael greeted him with a smile, completely unaware of what was about to happen. "Hey there, man. What can I get you?" he asked, his voice friendly. Jacob clenched his jaw, forcing a smile. "I'll take a cocktail, please," he said, leaning in closer. "You have something on the menu called a kick in the balls." Michael paused, his smile faltering. "Oh, no, man. I've never heard of that drink." Jacob leaned in further, his voice dropping to a cold, menacing tone. "That's a shame, because you're about to get one." Michael's eyes widened, and Emma, noticing the tension, rushed over. "Jacob, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice trembling with a mix of confusion and fear. "I could ask you the same thing," Jacob shot back, turning to face her. "But I already know the answer, don't I? You've been sneaking around with this guy. How long has this been going on, Emma?" "Huh? How long have you been lying to me?" Emma's face turned pale, her eyes wide with shock. "Jacob, no, you've got it all wrong. It's not what you think." "Oh, it's exactly what I think," Jacob interrupted, his voice rising. "You leave for hours with this guy, you're practically glued to him at work, and now you're telling me I got it wrong? Come on, Emma. Do you think I'm an idiot? Tears welled up in Emma's eyes, and Michael stepped forward, his hands raised in a defensive gesture. Look, man, this isn't what it looks like. Emma and I, we're just friends. Friends? Jacob let out a bitter laugh. Is that what we're calling it now? I'm done, Emma. We're done. I'll be filing for divorce first thing tomorrow. Emma burst into tears, reaching for Jacob's arm. Jacob, please, you're overreacting. It's not like that. I love you. We can fix this. We can talk about it. Jacob shook his head, his anger replaced by cold finality. There's nothing to fix, Emma. You crossed a line, and there's no going back. If you wanted out of this marriage, you should have just told me. Without another word, Jacob turned and walked out of the cafe, leaving Emma sobbing and Michael standing frozen behind the bar. As he drove home, Jacob felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and oddly relief. The worst was over. He had seen the truth with his own eyes, and now he could move on. 6 months later, Jacob's divorce was finalized within a few months. He can drag it out or try to make it messy. He just wanted to be free. Emma had tried to apologize again, but it was too late. The trust between them was shattered, and Jacob wasn't willing to rebuild what she had destroyed. Michael, he quit the cafe shortly after Jacob's confrontation. Word got around fast, and he wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms after that. It turned out he had been flirting with more than just Emma, and his reputation was tarnished. He moved away, leaving behind the mess he had created. Jacob, on the other hand, focused on healing and rebuilding his life. He threw himself into his work, took up new hobbies, and reconnected with old friends. He even started dating again, though he was cautious and took things slow. The pain of Emma's betrayal was still there, but with time, it faded. Reader comments, the cocktail joke was hilarious. Martina Mixmaster, I love how Jacob handled that confrontation. A kick in the balls is definitely what Michael deserved. Good on Jacob for keeping his sense of humor in such a tough situation. I'm glad Jacob moved on. Hearthealer, cheating is never okay, and Emma clearly crossed the line. I'm so glad Jacob didn't drag things out and went straight for the divorce. You deserve better, Jacob. Michael sounds like a real piece of work. Rista Blues. It's one thing to flirt with a coworker, but sneaking around behind her husband's back. Disgusting. I'm glad that guy got what was coming to him. Relationships are complicated. Loyal Wife 89. I get why Jacob was angry, but part of me wonders if he could have handled it differently. Maybe Emma felt neglected, and that's why she strayed. Either way, cheating isn't the answer. Tom was the real MVP. Undercover cousin. We need to talk about Tom here. He was the hero of this story, going undercover to help Jacob out. Someone needs to buy that guy a drink, just not a kick in the balls.